financially free and fantastic Friday. That is my Friday salutation for all our financially free fabpreneurs. Those are heart-centered female entrepreneurs who are intentionally manifesting money. And today, I want to talk to you about how do we use a particular type of marketing to manifest money. Hello and happy Friday. If you are a heart centered female entrepreneur, today's show is specifically for you because we are 1 week away from our Fabpreneurs International Women's Day celebration. And today we are celebrating small business women. And throughout the next 7 days until next Friday, March the 6th, we'll be celebrating you and women like you. And we want to make sure that you come to be celebrated next Friday, March the 6th, from 10 a.m. Eastern Time to 2 p.m., just 4 hours to be celebrated, to be giving some wise advice, to be engaging in communication with some experts, asking questions, getting your questions answered, and of course, having fun. Because if you know me, Evie Diaz, I love to have fun. Now, for those of you who may not know me, I'm Evie Diaz, financial empowerment speaker, financial trauma healing specialist and author, and the founder of the Fabpreneurs community, and also the creator of the FAB money scripting method of manifesting financial freedom. And today I have the pleasure of introducing you to one of our leaders, the leaders of our International Women's Day celebration next Friday. She will come in and introduce herself, and then we have a few questions to help you make your decision today and reserve your spot to join us at the International Women's Day celebration next Friday, March the 6th at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. So let me bring her over. Hello, Jill.
Hey, I should get my pom-poms. Good to see
Yes,
you.
and I'm starting to celebrate all the women. I woke up today and saying we are exactly 1 week away from our International Women's Day celebration. And I started celebrating some of the women right on my Facebook post. And today, I celebrate you for being a successful business owner. Now, Jill, I know that there may be some people that do not know you. So why don't we start with the question, who are you? Tell us all about you.
Thank you. So I am a four-time best-selling author and actually wrote the book Guerrilla Publicity, which I'll be sharing with your wonderful audience and all of us together on Women's Day. So I really focus in on helping you get your message out, creating visibility and credibility strategies using publicity as a wonderful strategy. I also run a kindness circle based on my book, The Profit of Kindness, where we network together in that. So that's who I am professionally. I help small businesses get clear on message and create visibility. I also am a kitty mom. That's what I do. I have 4 cats. Yes, 4 cats. I always say I'm not the crazy cat lady, but I am crazy about my cats, just saying. And I love sunsets. I love nature. I love to read, and I'm just a woman on the move, and that's why I love to share with all of you.
I love that. And so, by the way, I am a bunny mom.
Oh,
That's what I have. I have a white bunny.
oh.
And let's talk about what people should expect. So, first of all, I'm going to ask you a few questions and you can combine them together. So, we want to understand what is PR? Because for me, PR, from when I remember PR, I remember just about creating one piece of paper that we send out as a press release. And that's what PR has always meant to me. So, what exactly is PR?
Well, it's a lot different than that now. And here's the great news. Public relations helps you get seen, get heard, and get paid. And that's what we're all about at this conference. And it's going to draw your clients to you, create credibility and connection, and frankly, the trust in the marketplace today, which is very key. And when you're featured in interviews and in media, you are seen as the elevated expert who has earned your opportunity to speak and give your expertise to others. And what I love about it mostly is that it's a one-to-many strategy, and that it's a gift that keeps on giving, because it's like a recyclable and connecting people and profits and prospects to you being seen. And that just raises really the image, your image and your reputation, and what people think of you. It's very powerful strategy.
Okay, so what you're saying is that press releases are just a part of it. So tell us exactly what is it that you do and how do people work with you where you get them to really raise their brand visibility? So what exactly do you do?
Well, some of my private work, for instance, is really focused on messaging, because I find if a company, and whether you're a single solo entrepreneur or a bigger company, and I've worked with both, from Philips Corporation to solopreneurs, let me just share that it's a consistent, focused messaging that's key. Like having a powerful message that's resonant, congruent, and easy to speak. People convolute their messages, especially when it comes to media, because media needs to understand how what you do is going to solve the problems of others. So I do that within my customized consulting, as well as my very popular media mastery intensives, where people are on Zoom with me and we do it together, and you get to actually pitch the media. So I have multiple kinds of ways that I can serve people, but those are two of the ones that people tend to like best.
So you help people one-on-one individually and
Yes.
also in a group setting where you do some type of training, correct?
Yes, and not only training, but they're actually getting things done. So people really love that.
Awesome. And I know you talked about media, and I wanted to get this out because I want to make sure that we put this video on the page where people are registering and they have a basic understanding. Because my background is marketing, and I just told you what I thought PR was all about, and that was press releases. That's it. So you mentioned media. So what types of media do you or have you helped women specifically, because we're celebrating women, to really be seen in? What type of media are we talking about?
Well, I think right now what's super wonderful is the opportunity to get on podcasts. Like we're talking right now to all of you on a live stream. Guess what? You can do this too. And that is media. Like you can actually control your media. I'm just so excited about this, because I think we have more opportunities as women than ever to get our voice heard. Also, as a woman, here's super great news. You have the opportunity to use women's media. And then I like to call it, we're going to talk about this together next week, but using everything you've got. So, there's Hispanic media, there is all kinds of every media for everything you are, and I think you as a woman should use it all. And so that's something we'll dig into a little more next week together. But let me just say, I love podcasts. I think they're wonderful and fairly easy to get right now in this time. And then of course there's I think local media wherever you live. Let's get you cracking in the local media, and that makes a difference too.
And I want to talk about that makes a difference. What is the difference? Because, for example, when you said blogs, it's non-traditional media from when I was training in marketing, which is over, 10 years ago. And so now that we have blogs, for example, for me, I know that I hadn't thought too much about blogs, but when I was getting my book, working with Hay House, and Ree Tracy, the founder of Hay House, said to me, podcasts are very important. He said, not necessarily for you to start one, but for you to be in different podcasts. And it's interesting because I never thought of that as more of the PR part, right? I thought of it as just promotion, especially like if you're launching a book like I am, I thought about, okay, well, I need to get on podcasts. And actually, I always wanted to. I started a podcast over 20 years ago on I forgot the name of Blog Talk Radio. I started one, yeah, actually over 14 years ago, and I didn't continue. I wish I had, because I find it that sometimes I this media of getting on a video, it's more time consuming because I got to put on my makeup, I have to fix my hair. Whereas with the podcast, the traditional podcast anyway, I could just be speaking onto something, and I don't have to get all prettied up and worried about how I look. But anyway, let's talk about
Well,
what
Amy,
are the type.
can I
Go
mention
ahead.
something on
Yes,
this? Because
yes,
this is important.
yes, please.
Number one, in today's world, what's so great is you have both video and audio opportunities. And for example, one financial planner I was working with got one blog post, following my systems. I'm big on systems and publicity. Like everything in life, systems work, publicity systems work. And by following my system, he actually got in a financial blog. You know what happened? He filled his financial planning practice based on an informational, powerful article that was and this is the thing you always have to keep in mind, being of value and benefit to others. And what's super great about the podcast is because they're video, you also live on YouTube, and you live on so many places. And the power of media now, that's super great. Like I love good news. I'm just saying we need good news. And I think good news today is the power of media, and how it's working today is that you have an opportunity to duplicate yourself quickly, be seen and heard easily, much more than ever before. And then when you are interviewed, let's say on an ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox TV, CBC, BBC, go on and on and on, everywhere in the world, that lives on also in their archives on the website and all kinds of places. So I think the media multiplication factor is better than it's ever been.
I like that. Thank you so much. And what are the type of results? Because I come more from and it's interesting because you're making me think of PR almost like branding. And I don't know how to distinguish now that you're kind of clearing things up for me, how to distinguish between branding. But it sounds like branding is such a part of PR. Am I correct about that? Or what is the
Well, I want you
distinction?
to think of like a marketing tree, and public relations is one of the branches. Branding is one of the branches, but I will tell you, from a media perspective and getting interviews fast, you don't need fancy branding. You don't even need big, wonderful logos. The media doesn't care about that. In fact, Entrepreneur Magazine, when I wrote Guerrilla Publicity, said to me, you tell people that what I care about is giving value and benefit to our readers. And I want all of you to know that. That's what you're going to do. Give value and benefit to their readers, their viewers, and their listeners. And when you focus on that, I promise you good results.
So that's excellent because that works across all channels.
Yeah.
And then it helps with what my next question is, which is the results. So for me, thinking of PR in the traditional way, I saw it like, yeah, visibility, but visibility means what? I would think. This is what I used to think. I'm like, at the end of the day, I want to be able to get to the bottom line. And the bottom line, the results is the sales. What have you generated from this? And so, what can we expect from
Well,
media?
thank you. Let me tell you some great results. One of the women, for instance, following my PR system, she sold 45 books in a 15-minute podcast. I don't know about you, but where else can you do that? That's an example. One gentleman I worked with, a consultant, I had him use everything he's got. So he's Asian American. He got featured in the Chinese Times. He got a $7,000 consulting engagement from one article, and that's just one of the things we did. I'm just saying, that was super exciting. He also got featured in the front page of the San Francisco Business Times. He got featured in Entrepreneur Magazine. So you can imagine the replication and ROI and sales that happened from that. Let me tell you, braggability is very important, meaning that brings in money. When you say, I've been featured in, and you put logos on your website, it gives you that kind of oomph and whoa, you must be good because the media features you. So those are examples. I have a woman who is a trainer, had gotten a book out. Actually, she didn't get a book out. She does corporate training, and I gave her a fun way to do her story. She got an NBC Nightly News featured for 4 minutes. That would have cost her, let me just say, $720,000 to advertise. She got it free because it was public relations, and they featured her. So imagine that. It really is free because you're being featured. So that's ROI. And actually, I could go on and on with the way the phones light up and the sales that happen. One of my clients told me that his wife, who has a weight body image book, has actually created over $400,000 worth of sales from the PR strategies I taught him and that he implements, right? So very exciting. And that's how you measure PR by, had you paid for it, how much would that have cost? You know, when you look at one paragraph in a local media, you're talking thousands of dollars. One of my clients got a 1.5-page wonderful piece in her literally local market newspaper, which, was big enough. And that would have cost her $50,000. Not to mention, it resulted literally in $90,000 worth of workshop sales. Yes. 33% uptick in her website. Yes, that was great. And she sold, I think it was at least probably between 40 and 50 books. I don't have that handy right now, but really good results, particularly into her workshop, which of course is where the bigger revenues were.
Wow. So you are already turning my head around and really having me experience kind of a different way of looking at
Yes.
PR and what you do. And what I have in my mind is that it's not just about getting the media, but it's about the strategy, that's where you come in. It's about
Yes.
the strategy because I know that here locally in Miami, where I am, I've been on local TV, but I never promoted that anywhere.
Oh,
I've been featured on the Miami Herald, but I never told anybody.
oh
I
my
was
God.
even a writer for a local newspaper, but I was like, whatever. I never really used that. And as you're telling me this, it reminds me really now about the true impact. I remember last year there was someone that wrote a book, and a player from the NFL was reading it on the sidelines. I don't know if you recall this, but I remember hearing about it in the news because then I was in a meeting with the people from Hay House, and Ree Tracy was saying that a lot of publishers, traditional publishers that is, were going after this guy who self-published this book in 2020, and he didn't until he got the media last year, 2025, his sales went through the roof, and it was just because this NFL player was caught right before going into a commercial, and people were saying, what is the book, what is he doing in I think it's
Right.
called The Dugout, and they featured the book, and all of a sudden people started going to Amazon. Wow. So it's really how we do it, and that's where you come in, correct?
So did I say publicity works? Yes. Everybody got excited. He probably got a big publishing deal. That's revenues, by the way. That's ROI. Yes. And then, of course, all the multiplication factor that happens as a result of it. Super exciting. And it does happen consistently.
Awesome. So tell me, women should why should they sign up and register and reserve their spot to come listen to you next Friday?
Well, I think we've been covering quite a bit of wonderful detail here that you want to be present for, so I can give you the sort of dig it in how to actually get this publicity. I'm going to give you real world strategies that work right now in today's market that you can do simply, easily, and effectively. And so that's a great thing so that you can make more money. You can use publicity to boost your profits with actual real world strategies from the woman who wrote the book on it, Guerrilla Publicity. I'm gonna just deliver it to you. I'm gonna give you not to mention not just nuggets. Let me just say gold nuggets that you can use right away. That's a good enough reason.
Oh my God, let me just tell you that you got me excited, and now I want to learn more from you
Thank
because you got
you.
me thinking totally different about the way that I used to, in the old traditional, what I learned, which was very little. And I just want to let people know that they should get their tickets today. And I want to
Yeah.
just really quickly say a little bit about the event so that people know. Now, if you already know Jill, make sure you contact her because she has a special for those of you that have been her clients or her current clients. Now, otherwise, you can go to my website and I'm going to go ahead and share it so people know. And I'm going to explain to people how they're going to be able to get the tickets. And then, Jill, I want you to think about the last few words before we finish today, after I share with people how they're going to get their tickets. What are the final words that you want to let people know? So if you go to evds.com, which has been streaming down below, evds.com, you can actually, from my homepage, you can click on this ticket that says Evolve and you'll land here at Evolve. And that's where you get your ticket. So I invite you to get your ticket today because that way you'll get a chance to meet up with Jill and all the amazing women that we have available for you at this event. I also want to say that the event is just 4 hours. It is from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. I mean, to 2 p.m., pardon me, to 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And every speaker is going to speak for about 15 minutes. And then you have an opportunity to ask them questions. It's going to be like a workshop. So it's not a conference, it's a celebration. So I want you to understand we're celebrating women, we're celebrating these leaders that are going to be sharing one, two, perhaps three pearls of wisdom, and it's going to be all like workshop style. So it's not going to be a traditional Zoom where people are speaking at you. We're going to be engaging with the speakers. We're going to be engaging with each other so that it is a fun, fast event that produces a breakthrough in your business and what you're doing for this year so that this year could be your best year yet. So that next year, when you come back, we can celebrate you and all the accomplishments because really that's what this is about. It is a celebration for us anyway of women who are heart centered female entrepreneurs. So make sure that you get your ticket today because you're going to learn, you're going to connect with other fabulous women, and you're going to come out with pearls of wisdom that you can implement right away in your business. So, what are some last words that you want to share?
Well, first of all, I'm super excited to be with all of you today, and of course, and Women's Day, and always, because your publicity will carry your legacy, your image, your message always. And I'm super excited to help you really realize that and actually have those ways to do it right now. And to remember, this is what I also really want to leave you with, that your message matters.
Wow, that's so simple and yes, so powerful. And sometimes we may forget that, but that's important for us to remember. Your message matters. Well, I am now super excited that you're going to be giving us some tips that are going to like now I'm so excited that I have to do a one-on-one consult with you for my book launch
Yes.
because that's happening in October. So it's fast approaching. So I am so excited. I'm so grateful that you made it here today. And I'm so grateful that you say yes to speaking at our event. And I look forward to learning from you next Friday, March the 6th. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Thank you for being present. And thank you for saying yes to yourself. For now, I'm Evie Diaz of evds.com, and I am so excited to see you at the International Women's Day celebration next Friday. Thank you for being here with us today. Bye for now. Bye.